this is Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. Thriller-Athon is here. Here we go. Emma with Drinking by My Shelf and Rosie, who are hosting. They have created some exciting part, like a Cluedo. So if you pick up everything, it's gonna be 9 books. For me, it's out of the question just because I don't have time and I'm not a fast reader to do 9 books, but I still managed to have, I would say 4, but I think it's 5 on the list. So and I already started last night with Dr. Peacock. I chosen the oldest book on my TBR, and it is The Wife Between Us by Greer Henderson and Sarah Pekkanen. I think I am just 76 pages in, so not much yet. But I can only say quickly that it is interesting. We have every chapter is, at least so far, following the ex-wife, and so the other chapter follow the fiance, the future new wife. But I don't know. So far, my film, and obviously it's a thriller, so I'm not gonna say reveal or say more. You have the ex-wife who is she's not so far stalking or being crazy after the future wife or the ex-husband, but you can guess that there is something behind her, not necessarily something dark like evil from her, but there is something going on or happened in the past. And with the fiance, the future wife, you can guess as well that something happened in the past. This is just everything that I can tell you so far. First day, The Wife Between Us is starting the challenge, the week, a little bit more week of reading, and I will update you later. An update for the second day of the Thriller-Athon. So we are Sunday night, evening, something in between. And talking in between, that was a clever word, with The Wife in Between by hold on, Greer Henderson and Sarah Pekkanen. I am 217 pages into it. I was magically capable of reading a lot today. I don't know how it was even possible since I worked the whole day, but this morning in the metro, so going to work, something happened, and when I read it, I was like, what? Did I miss something? And I restarted just 2 or 3 pages before if I missed an element, but I didn't miss. And it was, I don't know if it's gonna be some other twist, but it was anyway the first twist, and I really did appreciate that. I obviously didn't see it coming, so I still like it. And obviously now with the twist that happened, it's even more intriguing. I wouldn't say tons, but I have few theories of where it could go. 160, 170 pages left to read, so still many things can happen. It's not like I'm close to the end. And anyway, so far I am really enjoying it. If I can reach the 250 pages or 260 pages, that would be awesome. So I'm gonna update you probably more tomorrow, Monday. I am not working, and I'm gonna dedicate a lot of my time to read. So it should be possible to finish it on Monday. So Monday, 3rd day into this Thriller-Athon week, and I finished The Wife Between Us by Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. And well, uh, yeah, that was quite something. I was wondering if it is a 5-star rating or a 4.5 or 4 stars. Uh, I probably need to sleep on the feeling. There are few twists in the plot, which is good. Few that I didn't see coming. One that I totally hoped that it will go into that direction, and it's kind of slightly touching that direction, but I wish that it could have been stronger in that one. So obviously everything that I'm saying right now doesn't ring a bell to you because I can't spoil anything. But I'm pretty sure everyone who read it might have some guess with the sister. And I'm not gonna say more than that. So the first read for the Thriller-Athon, which was the oldest book on the TBR. The next reading is gonna be the digital format for Shadow in the Woods by JP Choquette. And this is gonna be the shortest one on the TBR, and it can work as well for the new author reading. And I don't know if there is anything else that work into the different clues for Cluedo. And yeah, I'm gonna read it later because I need a break. Probably to eat something and to watch something. But yes, I am excited that it's been such a long time that I wanted to read the book, and obviously you never know how it's gonna turn out, if it's gonna be good or not, and it was. I think I am at the beginning of being between Monday and Tuesday night, not too long inside. I have read so far close to 25% of Shadow in the Woods by JP Choquette, and it is very intriguing. And so far, I can say that this is the kind of elements inside a book. I don't want to say this is the kind of book, but the elements inside that might be right in up. Hold on, might be right up to the alley for Kayla in Books and Lala, because the story takes place during a weekend, 4 days, that two ecotherapists, I'm gonna explain, a man and woman, are taking some patients of them, 4 in total, so there are 6, and they are going camping in the woods. And the ecotherapy is using the nature, the environments to help treating patients with apparently a variety of symptoms, but here we are following a variety of anxiety, stress, and one of anger management. So, and we have in this part of the Green or Greer Mountains myth going back to 18 something, so the 19th or 18th century, that they might have been seen as Sasquatch in the woods, and some people disappearing. So it sets the mood for what is it going to happen. So so far I can say that they have left the cars and they are hiking to reach the final place that they are really gonna camp. You realize that inside the patients group, some have some difficulty. So it's really not helping that you can hear some very strange noise in the woods. I will see how it goes on the creepy part. I'm not a fan of camping by myself. And so I can easily imagine how easy it is to freak out with noise that you can hear, and especially in the night. So anyway, so I have to say, yeah, so far so good. A new update on Tuesday, which is the fourth day into this week, longer week of Thriller-Athon. I am still with Shadow in the Woods by J.P. Choquette. And I was today so hopeful that I'm gonna give a lot of time to read and I'm gonna be finished, because when I started the day I was at 45%. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna happen fast and I'm gonna do it. That wasn't without counting with an unexpected but very desperate nap that lasted, I think, 3.5 hours. Like, you know, the heavy, deep sleep. I just pushed to the 60%. So I'm hoping still that I can finish it today. I will have less than 40%. I don't know exactly how much, but between 35 and 40% left, which I think is totally doable, because last night I started and I was able to do 45%. So again, possible. I hope so. So far I can say, and since the last update, that beware of the woods, beware of the myth, beware of the strangers that you might go camping with. So far so good. So I'm sure that the next time that I will go back and see you, it's gonna be to say that I finish it and give you the just final thoughts. Today, Wednesday, I don't remember how many is it in the Thriller-Athon week. This is after so past 1 in the afternoon, and so I'm gonna leave soon for work. I finished late last night, or very early this morning, The Shadow in the Woods by J.P. Choquette, and I have to say, well, I think I'm gonna stick with 3 stars, but a strong 3 stars. It's just because I can say that this is not really my type of story that I like to read, but it wasn't that thrilling or exciting, but it wasn't bad either. So it's a strong 3 stars. To recap, we have 2 eco-therapists. They are helping people with the nature, the environments, to take some time out in the nature and help them with, well, it's not necessarily whatever their problems are, because the 4 patients that they are taking with them are have some anxiety problem issues. They are taking 4 patients for a 4 days weekend camping in the nature, and well, you can say that pretty much since the beginning things are not going the way that the two therapists would have hoped things to go. To kind of sum up without giving anything away, the whole thing is about surviving with barely anything, surviving the woods, surviving something, and surviving every single one of them, trying to stay alive, and maybe to learn something out of it. Obviously, I can't say more than that, but definitely if the surviving story, this is the thing that you like, this is definitely a read for you. I really did like the author's writing, so I will definitely read something else from her, especially since she is an indie author, so it's definitely worth it. And yeah, so it was the second book, the second choice for the Cluedo, something that can work as a creepy cover and a new author and the shortest book. Quick update, Thursday. I have a tiny bit of time before leaving for work. I started yesterday 10. I can show you now the cover by Gretchen McNeil. Thriller works for creepy cover, and her second time or more time in Gretchen McNeil for reading her work. And favorite trope, the mystery killer who done it. Obviously, it's a thriller. I'm not gonna say more, but I think that I can just say what it's in the color: 10 teens, 3 days, 1 killer. That's all what you need to know. So far, I'm not just 78 pages into it. It's not a big one, slightly less than 400. So I'm gonna do my best because I want to finish it fast to be able to reach the 150, 160 at least tonight by the time that I will shut everything off. Yeah, nothing more to report. I just had quickly to get out and get some errands, and it's cold again. Well, it's not cold. We already had way worse, so we are extremely lucky in the cold this year. But it's always with the wind. When you have the winds, damn, the minus 16, not a happy one. Update Thursday night, almost Friday. OM. With Gretchen McNeil, I have to say that she has a way of hooking you, making you grip every pages because you want to know what is happening, but most of all, what is going to happen next. And I am 140, 150. I was able of reading, well, not a lot, but I mean unexpectedly more during the day. And so now I'm gonna go back and I want to try to reach or to get closer from the 200 as possible. And sometimes you just want to say something, you know. The problem, it's a thriller, so you can't. Oh, so good. Yeah, so far it's one of the trope that I like with the, for me, the classical thriller, more the mystery that you have a death or more maybe, and yes, the whodunit, but most of all the why. So stop talking, reading, and Friday I'm gonna give you some more news. Okay, Friday night I just came home and I have just 20-30 pages between that I have to read, and I'm gonna do it right away. Usually I need to settle down, watch something to put behind the day of work, and especially today, the week of work. But right now I need to know this is the end, and I will tell you, but I need to know. That's done, finished, and I'm happy to see that it's not who I was afraid that it might turn out. That would have been a disappointment, just because this is something that it's easily see coming. soon in the story. And I really liked it. I don't know exactly today yet if it's between a 4 and a 5, or a 4 or a 5, but I really did enjoy it. This is a real whodunit murder in the worst possible case scenario of isolation and weather storming and power cut out and being surrounded by water. So definitely another good one from Gretchen McNeil. I'm happy. I'm happy when I can find a book that really give the whodunit, that trope, because it's not always done well, but that one did. That's all for tonight. See you tomorrow with the last book. Hello everyone. This is the last day of the Thriller-Athon, Sunday, and it's almost 2 p.m. and I am done. I am happy that for once I can say that I had completed 99% of the challenges of this Thriller-Athon with the Cluedo theme. Obviously, few books are working for different challenges because I wanted to be sure that I can finish, that I can read and hopefully finish at least the minimum of books. To recap, I tried to find a position, not so bad. And yeah, so it was the first, the Dr. Peacock was the oldest book on my TBR. And I picked up The Wife Between Us by Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. And this one works if you want as well for the library card with a new author to me. So it can make 2 different categories. So that one I talked already before. It was a 5 stars. And this is in the same section. Then I have read. Yes, oh, it's in the digital formats. Shadows in the Viewed. Shadows in the Woods by J.P. Shogats. It's indie author, I have to say. And it works for Sergeant Custard because it's the creepiest cover on the TBR, but it works as well for Professor Scarlet with the shortest on the TBR since it's 257 pages, and works for the library with a new author to me as well. So I talked about the book, or as much as I could, in as well while along the reading of it. It's surviving the woods, surviving the groups, and surviving a thing. And I'm not saying more about that, except that I gave it 3 stars. Then I read 10 by Gretchen McNeil, which can be the creepiest cover as well. So Sergeant Custard. And obviously it is The Dagger with an author that I read before. Since obviously it's not the first time that I'm reading Gretchen McNeil, and I am pretty much liking everything so far. Sorry. And it works, this time I can say it, for the kitchen with the trope that I love. And the trope is whodunit, the murder. So I'm not going to say more. I think the color says it well. 10 teens, 3 days, 1 murderer. And I'm just going to add Isolation Islands, Storm of the Century, and Good Luck. So yes, um, I was very satisfied. I think I give it 5 stars. And the final one that I just read yesterday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I just finished, is by Courtney Summers' Sadie, which one corresponds to Candlestick, a new thriller on my TBR, and the study with a book recommended, well, not to me, but to everyone. For those who might not know what this is all about, the story of what happened with Sadie. She is 19 years old and she is missing through a few months after, or a year after. No, I think it's a few months after her little sister Maddie was found dead. And they were all alone, pretty much abandoned by their mother, never had a father. And so we are having the story told by Sadie. And the whole thing, because she is missing, is told. I try to make sure that I'm using the right word throughout a podcast. The journalist is investigating in order to create this podcast about the missing Sadie. What happened? Where is she? And he's going to uncover quite a lot. That's all I can really say. The writing by itself didn't make me 100% being hooked on. I kept going because I wanted to know what's going to happen and what happened to her and the story behind. But I would say that it was more the podcast part that really makes me being gripped to everything. So like I said, during the whole time it was pretty much of 3 stars, and slowly, so it was more by the end of last night. I just have 100 pages left, but when I stopped I was like, maybe I think it can go to a 4 stars. And I just finished this morning the 100 pages left, and at the end I was, okay, that's a 5 stars. I have to say, trigger warnings for sexual assaults and drug addictions, child pornography. Yeah, it's I'm speechless. So yeah, like I said, it's a 5 stars. So I can conclude by saying that the whole week, so it was 15 to February 23rd today, it was, wow, I was very lucky at pretty much loving everything and not having find something that I would end up DNFing, because that always could happen. But most of all, I could finish everything. So I end up completing all of the different challenges except for the book group reading, which is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It's been a long time since I have done a readathon, and I'm happy that I succeeded it. So I hope that those different books are inspiring for you to be picked up, to be read, and you'll feel whatever you want about them. But I would love you to tell me so we can have a chat. And yeah, until the next time, don't forget to subscribe. Some videos are gonna coming by. And thank you for watching.